Hey everyone, in class 2 we went over rib mechanics again, and today what I want to go over is a little bit more of that. This is the overview for class 2, and then also how we start to integrate it from one side to the other. So in class 1 we talked about how the ribs, when you breathe in, they're going to extend up, and then when you exhale, they're going to come down. And ideally we want them to come down a little bit further, because over time, when we breathe a lot, and we get this from stress, sleeping, whatever it might be, our ribs start to stay up a little bit further and we can't get full exhalation. Okay, so I'm going to go over that quickly, what we've done with the breathing, and then now to integrate core exercises that can help improve that with breath. Okay, so this is not going to be a big muscular, like my muscles are going to cramp up and fatigue to a certain degree, like if you're in the gym or you go running. But it's more of a neurological fatigue to the system. And what that's going to do is it's going to be harder to feel where you want to, or your breaths are going to get less and less in the sense of it's going to get choppier. You're not going to kind of maintain that position, which is totally fine. That's what's going to happen. So you start off with 20 seconds in between sets, and then depending on where you feel, and it could also depend on the day. If you didn't sleep a lot, that's a neurological fatigue factor as well. So you take that into consideration, maybe a little bit more rest in between. So always start about 20 seconds, and as you do more and more sets, take more and more time, because once again, you're trying to feel these positions. All right, so this is where we started to get ground-based and started to work a little bit more movement of the rib cage, but we're going to start to integrate stuff into this. So we get into this quadruped position, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, tuck the toes. We're going to shift our body forward. You're going to breathe in as much air as you can. And you're going to tuck that rib cage again. And remember, I'm working on tucking just as if I was sitting, okay? As you're doing this, try not to push your hands into the mat. You're going to want to push up like this. And what that does is kind of turns on some muscles we're trying to not bring to the party right now, okay? So you're going to breathe in, and then as you exhale, tuck that rib cage. Keep your body placed over your hands. You're going to want to shift back, okay? So breathe in. Tuck the rib cage. Keep it tucked. Breathe in again. Again. And then relax. So each time you're tucking that rib cage, on exhalation, keep it there. Try and breathe in again. Exhale and exhale. So you're trying to get more and more. And that's just like when you're sitting. If I get this tucked, just like that rounded position, I'm going to need to improve how I expand this way, else air's not going to come in. And so that's where we're getting this good expansion. Okay? Now I talked about how once we get this movement, if you want, from this position you can work on one side. So if I want to go left, I can lift up the right. If I want to go right, tuck. But always first, this is one of the best exercises we've used so far. Round and lift. And try and keep that rounding. We got this from Postural Restoration Institute, Small Forward Belly Lift. And this helps open up the spine. So once we've kind of got that a little bit more properly moving from the rib cage, now working to the pelvis, because once again, when you move, your rib cage and pelvis work together in unison and usually opposites. So we want to make sure we start to link everything up. This is where we talk about core muscles come into play. And the first one I want to go over is we're going to go over a plank, okay? And then we're going to do a variation in the side plank. And we first want to start with a plank from the elbows down the ground, okay? From this position, what you want to do is tuck your rib cage a little bit. So if I'm going to plank right here, I'm just going to tuck a little bit. And then I'm going to lift up, okay? So elbows, under shoulders, arms are going to be parallel. So we're thinking this position right here. Start from the ground, tuck your rib cage, and just stay at the knees right here. Do 3 to 5 breaths. When this gets easier after the 3 to 5 breaths, lift up to your toes. But first go knees, tuck rib cage, and hold here. So a plank locks in the rib cage and pelvis. Now when you're doing these planks, as you see I said breaths instead of time. So the reason why I like to start off using breaths is when you think about holding a plank or doing an exercise for time, you're going to think about how much is time left. How much time do I have to beat, or how much time is kind of on the clock, right? So it's like a competition, you're trying to beat this time. So you'll start to use muscles to help. I'm gonna like tighten up. So if you say 30-second plank, I'm like, all right, and then I start to tense up and I start to use these muscles. Now when you're cued to breathe in through this exercise, a plank, when you breathe in and exhale, you have to use your abdominal muscles. These same abdominal muscles are your respiratory muscles. So as you breathe, you're doing core in a sense. So they work together to parallel and twist and turn to be able to get everything to move with fluidity in a sense, okay? So if you try doing planks for breaths, you're gonna alleviate the tension in the neck, the shoulders, all these places that help you when it's, time's on the line and you need to compete. But in an exercise where we're trying to improve core stability and strength and motor control, we want to make sure that we can breathe through these planks. So try that. 3 to 5 breath planks. And if you do long, deep breaths, you're actually, I think 5 breaths is around 30 seconds. So it gets to where you need to be. Now, after you've gotten good at the plank, once again, their traditional elbow plank. And once again, try and stack elbow, then shoulder, go here. The reason why we like this is as I turn to hold like this, I'm going to use these muscles. These muscles we want to stay away from. We're trying to work this region here and be locked in. So try and hold like that. Get those elbows under, shoulders. First variation, like we talked about, level 1, tuck rib cage, knees. Try and get 3 to 5 breaths there. If that's easy, tuck rib cage from the knees, then lift up. Hold this position. Okay? So a plank is a great exercise to start to get that core. It shows there's a lot of activity going around here. Now, it's kind of brother in the whole core family is the side plank, okay? So next exercise we talked about is doing a side plank. The traditional side plank will have feet, knees, elbow like this, right? So if we have 2 contact points, the bottom of my foot and my elbow, that's what lifts me off. I have to create some type of stability from my elbow all the way down to my ankle, okay? And what that does is it tells other places that I need to use more muscles, so I won't be able to get over to you with the strength that you're trying to create. So if we're just trying to work the abdominals in this scenario, what we like to do is close off that lever and condense it. So what we do, like I'm going to do a traditional side plank here, I'm just going to bend my knees to 90 degrees, 90-degree angle, or a little bit below. And then I'm just going to lift my hips up and then tuck my rib cage and take 3 to 5 breaths. This closes off and now we got straight abdominals, but when you lift up, you're going to want to extend the rib cage up, so tuck it down. Okay, remember we want this rib cage tucked in a good position. Look straight ahead. Now take 3 to 5 breaths. Blowing out as if you're blowing through a straw. You'll see on that exhalation when you're blowing out, you're going to feel those abdominals, and that's what we're looking for here. Okay? So, you're like, all right, Taylor, I mastered that. What's the next progression? Well, we'll go back to here. However, what you do is we place the top leg in front of the bottom to help create more stable base. Once again, there's a point where hard is enough in what we're trying to get. We're trying to work abdominals, so we don't need to be working all these other areas. So tuck it over, elbow stacked, rib cage tucked, and then lift up. And since I now have a more stable base here, I'm going to get more here, and that's what I'm looking for. 3 to 5 breaths here. Okay? So you see 2 static exercises, that plank, and then a side plank are 2 exercises that control and help strengthen the muscles around this lumbopelvic region here, all the way up to the thoracic region. So these are two exercises I highly suggest doing because there's a lot of activity. Now, you'll see those are just static exercises in this, since you're not really moving, and your body moves, so we need to add in a little bit of synchronization from one side to the other versus just trying to stay in one position, okay? So, last exercise we went over is what we call a dead bug, okay? So how a dead bug is, you're gonna lay on your back, your head tucked, like to tuck our rib cage down, okay? And then you're going to press your lower back subtly into the ground, because I want to feel the lower back into the ground. I'm going to keep this here. First progression, so I'm going to show 3 levels of this progression. We brought the legs up, and all we did was slowly bring one down, keeping the rib cage there. So we're working on the walking, we're working on hip movement with a stable upper core here, okay? So we're creating this sense of a stable base, so then we can move. And then the next progression was extend out. So I've got to move back just a tad. Tuck the rib cage up. We just fully extend out. Come back. This is lower body progression. Okay? So level 1 would be here. Keeping rib cage down. You always say, anywhere from 4 to 5. And then there. Okay. That's lower body, but we're going to go upper body as well. So what we do is we press rib cage down, legs up, bring arms vertical. Okay. We want to keep this arm as straight as possible and locked out as possible. We're going to go thumb back, keeping the arm straight. If it starts to bend, that shows you that you can't get all the way back and adjust the shoulder, so you're using something, so just go to where you can. You can always come out a little bit, you don't have to go straight back. Keep ribcage tucked a tad, but you're just going to alternate. There. Okay. Once you've kind of do a couple sets of those, because then you're going to synchronize side to side. So our last progression is the full one. In that position, keeping lower back pressed into the ground the whole time. So as you extend out, you never want to lose that sense. Extend out, come up. So you're pausing here each time and then switching. And once you get real good, close your eyes. Because when you close your eyes, you take visual out of the scenario and you have to really feel your muscles. So that's a dead bug. So what we talked about here is a few core exercises if you put together in just a circuit, 2 to 3 rounds, 3 to 5 breaths on the planks, 3 to 5 dead bugs on each side, doing the side planks, the regular planks, and the dead bugs. You somehow put that in kind of your workout routine. That's going to allow to kind of improve the synchronization, but also that help improve the respiration, because we're talking about once you expand your ribs, you get a better movement here. You need to lock it in because it changes the dynamics of how you're going to move in a better positive way. You just got to let the body understand it a little bit because you're kind of changing things up. You lock it in with some core exercises and then synchronize both sides. It's going to help integrate walking, running, doing any exercises that you're trying to do, and it's helped our clients kind of improve their breathing, posture, and many different things. So stay tuned for class 3 as we're going to now integrate even more core exercises. And if you want more information on that, go to CFRI.org and stay tuned with them because we're going to have many more classes coming through.